Takashi Kimchi. It's my understanding that President Bush and President Clinton have sent messages of greetings to the AHA as well as to our honorary Dr. Kimchi. I suppose they're supposed to be showing letters here, but I don't see them, so I think we'll just keep going.
A meeting like this doesn't happen overnight, and it could not have been done without our devoted honor of chairs and committees who worked hard to make this event successful. Please join me in thanking our honorary chairs for all their support, Cindy and Alan Ford, Marty and Jerry Berrio, and Dr. Cheryl Hans.
And many thanks to the honorary medical and our committees for their support and their commitment to this event and for the mission of the American Heart Association. This has been a wonderful committee to work with and really been incredible for this event this evening. And we're very thankful and appreciative to all of the members for their hard work on behalf of the American Heart Association. We would also like to acknowledge some particular individuals here, particularly Congressman Berman, Assemblyman Goritz, and Maria Teresa, the honorary council from Brazil, and the mayor of Calabasas.
Sponsors, the Horn Foundation, the Lindsay Foundation, and Warner Brothers Studios. Thank you. Also, we also acknowledge the Savon Family Foundation, King World Productions, and all of our silver sponsors currently shown on the screen. Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, the Division of Academic Affairs, Community Relations, and the Division of Cardiology at Cedars-Sinai, City National Bank, Kaiser Permanente, KPMG, Nicholas North Roman, Wells Fargo Bank.
And many thanks to our generous supporters who include Don and Jill, Brad, John, and Dina about this Cedars-Sinai Imaging Group, the Department of Medicine at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, and the Department of Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, and the medical staff at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. The doctors from Century City Hospital and companies like Warren, Ms. Barbara Davis, Alice C. Laird of Sobel, Richard J. Fox, the Heart Foundation at Cedars-Sinai, Henry and Pamela Goldberg, David and Susan Warren, Yadro Electronic, the Milton Family Foundation, NBC Universal, the Boss Trust, Dr. Fred and Barbara Rosenberg, me and Lee Pasalaka, Edward and Jean Schneiderman, Jim and Denise Taylor, the Torrance Memorial Medical Center, Westside Medical Agent, and Pierre Morris Agency.
And ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge round of applause to all of our sponsors this evening, and thank you for your great support. The beginning festivities, please welcome tonight's Master of Ceremonies, one of Hollywood's most recognizable faces. He's appeared in over 50 films and numerous television shows. He was most recently seen in the critically acclaimed documentary, The Aristocrats, Mr. Larry Hill.
Hi, folks. Thank you, Dr. Harold, Dr. Shaw. Thank you all for being here at the 2006 American Heart Association Heart Awards. And I just want you to know that we're going to run a tight ship here tonight. If there's any nonsense, any funny business, any moving around at the wrong time, I promise you I'm going to read the list list of donors again. Don't force me into something neither of us wants. By the way, we've only been in here an hour and a half or so, so for those of you who haven't heard, as of about 10 minutes ago, gas in Beverly Hills was $27 a gallon. So I'll keep you posted. It's going up 15% every minute. I swear I did this on both sides. I don't care whether it's who's in charge in Washington. You want to say whether it's gas or anything else, try a different idea. If an idea is not working, try something else. And I don't know why they get stuck in things. It's like eating your cereal in the morning and going, oh, there's no this sour. Maybe tomorrow will be fresh. Try something new. Now I realize this is the American Heart Association. But please, let's be honest, if there's one thing, with all the troubles in the world we can finally be honest about, let us all agree that working out is a tremendous waste of time. Let's please come together on that. It is. A friend of mine runs marathons and he's always talking about this runner's high. But he has to go 26 miles for it. That's why I smoke and drink. I get the same feeling from a flight of stairs. I'm saving time every minute. Actually, I stopped smoking. It's probably the wrong. By the way, speaking of which, this is the first time I'm meeting you guys. Remember, I heard a lot of forks. I hear people turning away. They forced me to do it. Tom and Jill Barad. John and Edwina Parker. Don't make me do this. Folks, why are we so afraid of getting old? Why? We've gotten spoiled, we get a little wrapped up in our own lives, and we are, by the way, I don't care how old you are, your parents were twice as tough as you are. My father had 3 jobs and went to school at night. If I go to the cleaners and the bank in the same day, I need a nap. Why are we afraid of getting old? Do you realize the only time in our lives we like to get old is when we're little kids? Do you understand this? If you're less than 10 years old, you're so excited about aging, you think in fractions. How old are you? 4 and a half. You're never 36 and a half. 4 and a half, and going on 5. You're going on. You're going to be your teens, you jump homes. How old are you? I'm going to be 16. You could be 12. But you're going to be 16. And in the greatest day of your life, the height of this experience, you become 21. You see, even the word sounds like a ceremony. You become 21. Yes. But you turn 30. What happened there? Makes you sound like bad milk. He turned, we had to throw him out. What happened? You become 21, you turn 30, then you're pushing 40. Stay over there. You become 21, you turn 30, you're pushing 40, and you reach 50. You become 21, you turn 30, you push 40, you reach 50. And you make it to 60. I didn't think I'd make it. Then, folks, then you become 21, you turn 30, you push 40, you reach 50, you make it to 60, but then you build up so much speed. You hit 70. After that, it's day by day. After that, you hit Wednesday. Turn 4:30. My grandmother would buy green bananas. In the 90s, you start going backwards. I was just 92. The strange thing happens, folks. If you can make it over 100, you become a little kid again. I'm 104 and a half. Thank you very much. There is a great show for a great cause you're going to be seeing tonight. let's move on to a very important video. Watch this. There it is.
If you knew the future of our nation was being compromised, would you tell someone? If you knew there was a force posing a threat in your community, would you do something? If you knew the health of our children was at risk, would you help them? If everyone has looked away and said, I just can't help, the problem is too big, would you be the one to take the first step? Today there is a growing epidemic among our nation's children, and tomorrow is too late to do something about it. There are more than 9 million children who are overweight or obese, and if they stay on their present course, some experts believe they may become the first generation in American history to live shorter lives than their parents. Today the impact is that they are teased, short of breath, have low self-esteem from being the last one chosen to play. Tomorrow it will be heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and a host of other medical issues that will make the strains on today's healthcare system pale by comparison. There are so many reasons for this crisis. Too many unhealthy food choices. Time once spent playing outside is now spent watching TV or playing video games. And many schools can no longer afford to provide physical education classes. Added to the problem, there are vending machines with sugary snacks in their hallways and cafeterias. Today in America, we have a critical health problem to solve, with the lives of multiple generations at stake. But tonight, we also have hope. Hope for our children, hope for our future, hope that you and the people sitting around you will not only acknowledge the problem, but take the first step in solving it. With your support, the American Heart Association, in partnership with the Clinton Foundation and Governor Mike Beverly, can launch a groundbreaking campaign to help resolve this problem. Help us find new and better ways to ensure a future where every child in America has the chance to grow up strong and healthy.
Following my recent heart surgery, I knew I'd been given a second chance to do it, and I became more committed than ever to ensuring that every child has the opportunity to make the most of his or her value and potential. That's why I'm so pleased to be working with the American Heart Association to help create a healthier generation of Americans. We want to stop the increasing prevalence of childhood obesity in 5 years and see childhood obesity rates decline in 10 years. To achieve this, we'll encourage fast food and family dining restaurants to create healthier children's menus, work to support school-based efforts to educate children about healthy living, provide healthier meals and snacks, and increase physical activity. Our goals are easy to say, but they're hard to achieve. That's why we need you. You can make your community healthier by taking action locally, and you can make America healthier by giving generously tonight.
Hi, I'm Mike Beverly, Governor of Arkansas, but tonight I'm here in a far more important role. I'm here as a parent. As a father, my first concern is the health and well-being of our children. If we stand by and do nothing about the growing childhood obesity epidemic, future generations are going to be facing
By the way, I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm sure you noticed before that the top donor this year was anonymous, and I just wanted to say it's me. I know it's the highest form we gave without saying it, but it is me, and in fact, this is the Warren Foundation, Lindsay Foundation, Warner Brothers, and me. And I gave twice what they did. So we're going to move along now with a very important part of the program. And it's going to be fun too, because it's an auction. And we're going to start with 10 gallons of gasoline at $3,500. Come on, let's see some hands. We're going to start with the guy who does this a lot, so please get yourselves ready to have some fun and really think seriously about having fun through giving and buying something interesting through an auction. So please welcome our auctioneer, Randy Parnell.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Sorry about that. Well, it's indeed a pleasure for me to be here tonight working on behalf of the American Heart Association. You've got 7 really wonderful items in your live auction tonight. I hope you all take the opportunity to look through your program and check each of those out. We're going to get started with our auction. Helping me out right tonight. We've got several volunteers throughout the audience, and they'll be helping spot your bids as well. Miles Elbert is right down here below me, so he'll be helping out too. So if I don't have to pitch your bid, you make sure you turn it into him and we'll have a lively auction. As I said, we've got 7 really wonderful items we're going to be offering to you. But before we get started, I'd like everybody to put their paddle, take their paddles and get them in your hands and hold them up in the air right now. I need everybody in the audience to do that. This is the only time of the evening you can raise that paddle and it's not going to cost you any money. So here's a perfect opportunity to do it. Get up there, we'll have a little practice auction. All right, Tony, I'm going to give $2,000, now $2,500. I'm going to give $25, $3,000, $3,500. I'm going to give $35, $4,000, $4,000, $45,000, $5,000, $6,000. Sold it right up there. $5,500. Good job. That's the way I want you to do it. Just like that. Keep those paddles handy. I know you got salads in front of you. We've only got 7 of these items that are very nice items, so I'll go ahead and get started right now. We got you worked out. Item number 1 in your programs is a Palm Springs villa. Right here. It's 1 week at a private villa.
They're going to show it on the screen up here too.
You're going to take your family out there, enjoy a private environment. There's a large pool along with the villa. Has 2 bedrooms. A den sleeps 8 people comfortably. Here's a great opportunity for a little getaway. A couple hours away here from LA here. Ladies and gentlemen, start the bidding. Tell me, what do you think? $1,000. I'm going to $1,000 bid now. I'm going to $1,000. $500. I'm going to $500. I'm going to $500 bid. I'm going to $500. Palm Springs Villa. $500. I'm going to $500 bid. I'm going to $500. Thank you. Now $750. I'm going to $750. I'm going to there. Now $750. Now $1,000. I'm $750. You're there for the $1,000 on that. I'm $750. What do you think? $1,000 is all. I'm $750. $750 is the money. Get the $1,000 bid. You're going to have a great time. Sleeps up to 8 people just a couple hours away. $750 over there. You all right? I'm $750. $1,000. I'm $750. $1,000. $1,000. Now $12.5. I'm $1,000 right there. $1,250. I'm $1,000. Now $1,250. Now $1,000. Get $12.5. I'm $1,000. $12.5. $1,250. Get advance. $1,250. Sold out there. $1,000 right there goes to fire. Hold that at number 237. Get that there. A big round of applause if you will, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, we're going to go to item number 2. Should be up on the screen. I'll get it up there right now. I don't know whether you saw it. It was displayed in the lobby out there. This is a wonderful, one-of-a-kind piece of art. Faces of the Brave 9/11 tribute artwork. This was a tribute done by Randy Sword, and it was created to honor the lives of those who fell in our New York emergency back on 9/11. After more than 4.5 years of research and communication with the surviving families, this is the only piece of art that he obtained legal permission from each and every one of their families in order to include them in this piece of art. It's one of a kind. It is a artist proof, limited edition. There's one of a kind, and we'll sell it to you. It's on the screens right there. It's on display out there. Ladies and gentlemen, tell me That's right, it's for charity only. That's what he's pointed out, it's for charity only. You cannot buy this any other time. This is the only opportunity that you'll have to buy something like this. Truly, one of a kind. Okay, $900 right there, $1,000, thank you. $1,100, I'm $1,000, $1,100, I'm $1,100, yeah, now $1,100, I'm $1,000, one of a kind, 11, now 12, I'm $1,200, I'm $1,200, $1,200, 11's money, need $1,200 in advance, I'm $1,200. What a great piece to display in your home. One of a kind, none others like it. 1,100, 1,200, I'm $1,200, yeah, that's 12, 13, I'm talking 1,300, 1,200 there, maybe 1,300, I'm talking 13, and answer 12's money, $1,300, I'm talking 13, and answer 1,300, go to sell it, are you sure? 1,300, got it, now 14, I'm 13, 14, now 13, 1,400, I'm 13, 14, now 1,300, who gave 1,400? I'm 13, $1,400, any answer, go to sell it, 13's the money, going once, I'm 13, 14, yes, now 1,500, I'm 14, 15, now 16, I'm 15, you can do it, yes, just shake your head just like this, I'm 15, $1,600, I'm going to pay 16, now 1,700, 17, now 18, I'm 17, 1,500, now don't get mad, just get it, 1,800, I'm 17, 18, we get 1,800, one at a time, 18, now 19, 1,900, now $2,000, I'm 19, 22, yeah, you can show your support, you got back for it, I know you wanted to do that, I'm 19, 2,000, I'm 19, 2,000, I'll go ahead and do it, I'm 19, 2, now 2,100, I'm 2,100, $2,000, 2,100. He said, hang on just a second, so I'll do that. Thank you. On the other side, 3,000. Now 3,100. I'm $3,000 here. Give me 31. Look at that. I'm $3,000 here. Give me 31. And answer 3,000 right there. Give me $3,100. I'm taking 31 going once. I'm $3,000 here. Give me $3,100 going twice. Sold. Right there. $3,000 goes to the buyer. 316. Thank you. Give them a big round of applause. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Number 3.
Folks,
I tell him that we do donate.
No, not yet.
come on now, listen up. Remember, I warned you, Tom and Jill Barrett. Listen up, this is important.
Thank you. Tell me, I'm going to get $1,000. I'm $1,000. 5,000. Now 1,100. Now 12. I'm talking 12. 1,300. I'm talking 1,300. 1,300. 14. 1,500. I'm 14. 1,500. 14 is money right up here. 15. Now 16. I'm 15. 16. Now 15 is money. 1,600. I'm 16. 17. 17. 18. I'm about 1,700. Way back in there. 1,800. Your man's out there, Miles. I'm 17. 18. I'm 17. 18. Now 17's back there. 1,800. I'm 17 with 18, with it, 1,800 going once. 17's back in the room, 1,800. I'm 17 with 1,800. What was your bid number? Right there, that's that tail. There it is. I can't see it, but anyway, you can. 367. Thank you, sir. You guys did a good job. One of you, that's 75. I'm 7,200. 75. 7,200. Way back, 75. Good job. That's 77. I'm 71. 77. 8,000.
See the girl on the steps over there? That's the one that we met this afternoon. The girl on the steps is the one we met this afternoon.
In the red dress?
Black, on the black.
Don't get discouraged, because I got 2 of them. Yeah, 2. So I'd like to sell one right here, bring it 2.5, and I'd like to sell one up here, bring it 2.5. You guys would be willing to do that right there. Would you be willing to do that? Right there. Sure. Thank you, guys. Sold twice. Right here, right back there. What's your number back there? One and another 284. What's your number right up here? 305. Give them both a great big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. In the United States, celebrating child obesity. And I think one of the interesting things that they pointed out there, one of the most impactful things for me is that many experts agree that if the epidemic keeps going the way it's going, that our kids' generation, maybe the first generation that
That's right, this is the most important. This is the most important part of the evening. The reason we're all here tonight, I have to do this. The reason we're all here, though, is the most part of the evening, in addition to this being a great cause. So please let's start watching this video.
He loves what he does. He said many times that he had to do it all over again. He'd go back and do the same thing.
And somebody's doing really passionate part, I think that really represents somebody who gives their entire self, their heart to their patients and back to medicine, which I think is what he does.
My father was born and raised in Tel Aviv, Israel. His parents were Yaakov, Rivka, and Reuben and Hor. Just before the Second World War, they both immigrated through their families to Israel. He tells me he had a great childhood. He was a member of the Boy Scouts and enjoyed activities and sports and underground clubs. Immediately following high school, he enrolled in students at Hebrew University in Jerusalem and studied medicine at Bethesda Medical School. After completing 1 year of general medical training, he joined Israel Army to required for all men and women in Israel. For a period of 3 years, he served in the Israeli Air Force as a flight surgeon in the Medical Helicopter Rescue Unit, where he was promoted to be the commander of the Israeli Aeromedical Evacuation Unit, receiving the military rank major. As a flight surgeon, he took part in the Yom Kippur War and treated Israeli air casualties. During my dad's service in the Army, he met another deputy. She was the first from Mexico, and he got married 2 years later.
In Jerusalem, Israel, I was one of his teachers, and he was an outstanding student at that time. He always knew that he's going to have an excellent career.
In 1983, he became an attending physician in the Division of Cardiology at Cedars-Sinai. Dr. Kimchi is clinical professor of medicine at the David Geffen School of Medicine at UCLA.
During the last 25 years, ASHA has been actively involved in clinical research, focused primarily on diagnosis and treatment of coronary disease and heart failure. He's edited 5 books on cardiology and serves on the editorial boards of several leading cardiology journals. Most importantly, ASHA has emerged as one of the premier educators in the field of cardiovascular diseases. ASHA founded the International Academy of Cardiology, and he's currently chairman of the Academy.
There was a need for an international flavor cardiology body, and Asher did what was really needed to be done.
Dr. Kimchi represents a very unique rank of physicians. He's a clinician academician.
From young people who draws them into the academic environment and supports them.
He's organized for the last 16 years a series of world congresses on heart failure, general cardiology. They're attended by 1,000 people each time they're held, and they're super involved.
And it really has to rank as one of the great accomplishments in medical education in our field. And it's not just educational, because it also stimulates research.
He doesn't believe
He is currently the president of the American Heart Association, Los Angeles County Division. Becky and Ash have two sons, Eyal and Etan, who are both attending medical school.
We speak on the phone, I'd say almost every day. In fact, that since ever since I can remember, he's always set aside time for both my brother and for me. He's always put his family over everything else, for his profession over anything in the world.
By the way, we will not be able to do without his wife, Becky.
The real force behind Asher is his wife. She's very humble and unassuming, but without Becky's wife.
He really has a personal relationship with all his patients.
He hears you when you talk. He pays attention. Those 2 years of listening. And he makes you feel safe.
Immediately I saw a compassionate being and a man that I can trust in what he says.
Because I know that when I like him, he knows it. And he stops me. Priest, you kind of tell me the truth.
Seems you walk in the room, everything naturally better.
Husband always invariably has a patient needs to go see. Her family needs to go talk to him in the hospital. And that's the start. I think, it's the danger is for you.
He's always said that you have to get back to medicine if you would. And I think that choice is something that has made it hard as a career choice to ignore my brother and myself.
So I turned my hop down and came to the door, and the patient was on the telephone and didn't seem too pleased about being interrupted.
And then this little old lady came walking in with this huge instrument, and I thought, oh my gosh, now I'm going to test.
Oh no.
So I was trying to be polite and also and said, excuse me, but your doctor sent me down here. And then I put out the prescription and I said, he actually wrote a prescription for you.
The prescription said, for heart therapy. That is for the music of the soul. And I was so happy when she was playing these melodies and lullabies and concertos.
I remember she reached for the Kleenex while she was listening, so it was very touching for her.
I asked for a copy of the prescription so that I could bring it at home because it's the best present I ever received in my whole life.
What can I say? He's Asher's Asher.
Honest, supportive, self-reliant,
Giving, loving,
Trustworthy.
Inspiring.
Excellent friend, excellent scientist.
He's a mage, which means he's a true gentleman.
Ashes is amazing. It's just one of the nicest, one of the most decent people, if not the most decent person I've ever met in my whole entire life. He has a heart of gold. He is absolutely just a cream of humanity.
welcome to the stage our award presenter, Dr. Jeffrey Borer, who is the Gladys and Roland Harriman Professor of Cardiovascular Medicine professor of radiology and of cardiothoracic surgery, and chairs the Division of Cardiovascular Pathophysiology. Funny thing is, this is my resume too. At the Howard Gilman Institute for Valvular. Oh, come on! Heart diseases. Please welcome Dr. Jeffrey Moore.
Thank you. You know, usually, if you come to an award ceremony, if you have the option, you'd like to win the award. But sometimes it's even better to be presented. And for me, that's tonight, because I can help honor a true friend, someone for whom I have extraordinary respect and admiration, and who, quite frankly, as you know from the movie, it's obvious, really deserves to be honored. Most of you are here because you benefit from Asher's attention, and you've come to know him in some way. I'm going to tell you now about how I know him, and why I think he's truly praiseworthy. And in doing this, I'm going to tell you about his voluntary efforts that symbolize the mission of the American Heart Association to educate the public and the physician community in the recognition and relief of heart disease. For many years, Asher was involved in clinical research to develop new treatments for people with heart disease. In fact, we first met almost 25 years ago, and for a short time our research overlapped. Based on his work, Asher wrote many articles in medical journals. He also saw patients, he taught medical students, he taught house officers. But a lot of doctors, like me, like PK, like John, do research, see patients, and treat and teach trainees. Very few do what Asher has done. During the past 2 decades, Asher Kimchi has emerged as one of the preeminent postgraduate educators in medicine. To do this, he's volunteered his time and receives no financial compensation. First, he founded and continues to chair the International Academy of Cardiology, an educational organization that receives no profit and pays him nothing. During the past 17 years under the Academy, Asher has organized and chaired 14 major international congresses on heart disease, almost one a year. Now, unless you've done this, you can't imagine the work. For every meeting, you need to attract more than 100 well-known faculty members who will come even though you don't pay them, not even their travel expenses. You need to select the scientific presentations, arrange a lecture schedule, and of course, you have to find the money to underwrite the things that actually have to be paid for. It's quite a job. Asher took this as his mission, and he's been uniquely successful. At the 14 international congresses, more than 10,000 researchers have presented new medical knowledge. That's information so new, it hasn't even been published in scientific journals. Information that's crucial to improving your medical care. Because once doctors leave medical schools, these meetings are where we learn how to treat you better. Think about it. Such a massive exchange of knowledge from the dedication and energy of one person. To supplement, Asher launched a very successful website for the International Academy of Cardiology with information for patients as well as for doctors. And he's also produced 6 books with information from the congresses for doctors. A few years ago, Asher took on another responsibility. You know, the future of healthcare depends on constantly replenishing the troops. We always need new clinician scientists to come on board to create new treatments. Now, it's fashionable to talk about involving young investigators, but typically Asher didn't just talk about it. 10 years ago, he actually began doing it. He began assigning large numbers of talking slots at the congresses, specifically for young doctors. This allows them to interact directly with major figures in the field, but more importantly, it provides the sense of a accomplishment by participation that stimulates continued involvement. Now, doctors know about Asher's teaching, but patients in this audience might not. You know how well he looks after you, and I know it too. For years now, whenever my patients travel to Los Angeles and need a doctor, I give Asher's name and phone number, and he always responds. Of course, I become a hero for having found him. More significant, that's the important one. More significantly, though, I did the same thing when my daughter Justine moved to Los Angeles last year. Whether it was a dental emergency or an auto accident, and by the way, I don't mean to be critical, but you people have an awful lot of those out here. Whatever the issue, the person I called was Asher. The problems weren't cardiac, but I knew that Asher would accept them as his own, just as the movie indicated he does for you. For my own family, I turned to Asher because he's not only extraordinarily skilled, but compassionate and responsive. Now it's time to present the award. To join me and PK and John in doing this, I'd like to invite to the podium another friend of Asher who saw in the movie, John Eleftheriadis. John is professor of surgery and chief of cardiac surgery at Yale. For those of you who've been out here a long time, that's another school on the East Coast. John is a highly gifted and widely celebrated cardiac surgeon who's president of the American College of Angiology. But you need to know that he and his wife came out here on their own, not to participate in the ceremony, but specifically because of the respect which they, like all of us, feel for Asher. Now, John, why don't you come up? For all of us in this room, it's a pleasure and a real honor to present the American Heart Association's Passion of the Heart Award for 2006 to my friend Asher Kimchi.
Thank you, Dr. Bowen, for your kind introduction. Dear colleagues, friends, and family, good evening. It is thrilling to receive the American Heart Association Passion of the Heart Award from the hands of 4 internationally renowned cardiologists, Dr. Jeffrey Bowen, Dr. John Eleftheriadis, Dr. John Harold, and Dr. P.K. Shah. They have contributed enormously to the practice of medicine and should also be acknowledged for the lifetime of achievement. I thank the American Heart Association for bestowing on me this prestigious award, and with true humility, I am honored to accept it. I've been associated with the American Heart Association for the past 26 years. The American Heart Association is a national voluntary health agency whose mission is to reduce disability and death from cardiovascular diseases and stroke. It is an outstanding organization which deserves our attention and support. I thank everyone here tonight. I'm aware that you have expended great efforts to be with me in this very exciting and special moment, and I'm deeply appreciative. I would not be here today if not for my parents, Yaakov and Rivka. I lost my parents to cancer when I was 20 years old. My mother passed away a year and 3 months later. Their love, which has stayed with me to this day, gave me the courage and strength to pursue my dreams. My parents, who were wise and very generous, taught me the value of education and the importance of community service. I still today strive to fill their shoes. It is a great joy that I accept this honor in the presence of my wife Becky, my 2 sons Eyal and Etan, and many other members of my family. My family has been my source of inspiration. My family helped me in the development of my career. When my sons were very young, I used to ask them to sit next to my slide projector and to listen to me as I rehearsed the lecture that I would be giving in an upcoming congress. At the end of the slides presentation, I would ask them, "So, what do you think? Is it good?" And my kids were barely 2 years old and answered, "Yes, it's good." Becky, my wife, is the wind beneath my wings, and her love has brought me through a lifetime of challenges. I have to thank her wonderful parents, Norma and Max Goldberg, who passed away within the last 3 years. I love them dearly, and together with my parents, they are with us tonight, in spirit, enjoying the moment. In fact, the world belongs to my wife Becky, and with her permission, I would like to dedicate it to the countless number of anonymous American Heart Association volunteers across the country who are giving their time, energy, and everything else that they can afford to make the world a better place. I would also not be here today if not for the encouragement, advice, and support which I received from my mentors and colleagues. It was almost 25 years ago when I first arrived at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center for my fellowship training. Among all the great cardiologists that I met at Cedars-Sinai, one stood very tall. He was a great leader and mentor. He had tremendous impact on my development as a cardiologist. He supported my educational activities unconditionally and appeared multiple times in international congresses that I organized around the world. I greatly miss my hero and mentor, Dr. Jeremy Swan, who passed away last year. I would like also to acknowledge the tremendous support that I have received over the past many years from the leadership of Cedars-Sinai, particularly from Mr. John Lowe, the chairman of Cedars-Sinai Board of Directors, Mr. Thomas Preslak, CEO and president of Cedars-Sinai, as well as from Dr. Shlomo Melmed, Dr. Glenn Brownstein, Dr. William Gantz, Dr. Dan Berman, and Dr. P.K. Shah. This amazing gala would have never taken place if not for 6 angels, exceptional community leaders, generous philanthropists, and above all, true friends. From the time that they agreed to be the honorary chair of this event, it was clear that this is going to be a fabulous evening. All kudos goes to my very dear friends, Cindy and Alan Horn, Margie and Jerry Perenchio, Dr. Cheryl and Chaim Saban. They all put their heart into this gala, and the results are enormous. It appears that even a group of angels can have a leader, and Alan Owen, the president of Warner Brothers, was the one. He took on the goal that this evening would be successful. He worked with a great passion on this gala. He called from a screening room in Philadelphia or from a movie set in Africa just to see if any further help is needed. I am forever indebted for all these efforts. I would like also to thank the member of the Honorable Committee and Medical Committee, as well as my dear friends, Dr. John Errol and Dr. P.K. Shah, who took on the job of dinner chairs and did a remarkable job. The movie that Lisa Satriani voluntarily created over the past year is terrific. The work of all the talented people that participated in the making of the movie is greatly appreciated. This evening was so beautifully organized by the capable staff and leaders of the American Heart Association. My heartfelt thanks go to Dora Gill, Melissa Goldman, and Claudia Keller, as well as to the members of the Board of Directors and the Chairman of the Board, Mr. Vernon Kozlan. I'm indebted to their dedication and their huge effort that have brought this gala to fruition. Thank you again. I love you all.
Congratulations, Dr. Kimchi, and to Dr. Borer. Ben is coming back on now for something you're really going to like.
They have to drive.
Oh, they're there?
Before that can happen, so while we have the, I don't think the word buzz applies to that anymore. Before, is some, should we? That's the kind of thinking we need around here. Wait a minute, you do it. Unplug it. By the way, every light in front just went out. Ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of good reasons to be here tonight. And you just saw the main one. And there are a lot of good reasons to go to a great organization like this, but you're so happy you're here. He's got an